The Scum Villain's Self-Saving System, Chapter 14, Audio Source, wuxia-world-audiobook.com. Chapter 14. TN. Apologies for the late chapter, been busy this week and weekend. Unedited chapter will be replaced with an edited version after I get this to Luan. After falling unconsciousness, Xiāng Tóngxiù woke up like someone half dead. He opened his eyes to see above his head a pure white canopy and knew he was in his own quarters at Qingjing Peak. The chaos caused by the demons should have already been calmed down. He took a breath and wanted to yawn and stretch when suddenly, the door opened and someone came in. Ming Fan carried a tray and seeing that he was awake, flung the tray to his left and howled. "Shifu, you've finally woken up." There was still another person standing outside the door. Luo Bing'er stood at the door. It seemed like he wanted to come in but was uncertain and unsure. After howling, Ming Fan turned around and saw him. He reprimanded, "How come you're still standing here?" Quote. Then he turned back to Xiāng Tóngxiù. "Don't what kind of disease this kid has that he insists on standing here like a stick? Don't you know that Shizun is annoyed once he sees you?" I reminded him but he still doesn't go. Xiāng Tóngxiù weakly held up a hand. "Might as well. Up to him," Ming Fan said. Baizan Peak's martial uncle Lu said to tell him when you woke up. I'll go straight to call Martial Uncle Lu, Elder Martial Uncle Mu, and the sect head. Quote. After finishing, he rushed up and out the door. Seems like he truly slept for a long time. Yueching Yuan had already returned to Kangqiong Mountain Sect. As for Elder Martial Uncle Mu, that must be Qiankao Peak's Mu Qingfang. One Qiankao Peak specializes in medical skill and medicine production, so it's necessary for him to be on the scene. Luo Bing'er moved and made way so that the path was clear. He was far away but refused to leave, his attention focused inside the room. Xiāng Tóngxiù slowly sat up and said, "Do you have anything to say? If so, then come in." Luo Bing'er walked inside the room and with a thump, suddenly kneeled down. Xiāng Tóngxiù. System, wait a moment. What's going on? I only slept for a while, how come it became like this just after I woke up? How long did I really sleep? Have 10 years passed already? After Luo Bing'er knelt, he raised his head. His eyes were hot with tears and guilty, asking Shizun to forgive this disciple's past ignorance. This word, ignorance, no matter who it was put with, it couldn't be put with Luo Bing'er. This disciple originally thought that Shizun didn't care about me. Only in the third trial did I realize Shizun's troubles in the past. Xiāng Tóngxiù. No. Your original Shizun really didn't care about you, he'd rather you died, really. However, what troubles of mine did you realize? You should say more. I'm also very curious. Luo Bing'er didn't continue speaking down that line and only sincerely said, from now on, this disciple will definitely wait upon Shizun with all his heart, obey all your commands and instructions. Xiāng Tóngxiù looked at him with a complicated expression. This child's heart at this moment was truly very kind and honest. Saved him once and all of the past verbal and physical abuse was completely forgotten. If this continued, would he still be able to steal himself and viciously push him into the endless abyss? Xiāng Tóngxiù was silent for a moment, then said, as long as you understand, it's good. You get up first. Though he didn't understand at all, what did Luo Bing'er comprehend in the end? He saw Luo Bing'er slowly rise but still refused to leave, a little bashful like there was still something he wanted to say. Xiāng Tóngxiù asked, "Is there anything else?" Luo Bing'er said, "Shizun slept for many days and just woke up. I don't know if Shizun has an appetite." Xiāng Tóngxiù only just noticed that he was so hungry that it felt like his front had stuck to his back. Once he heard that there was food, his eyes turned green with desire and he hurriedly said, "Very much. You bring it up, then." Luo Bing'er immediately ran to the kitchen. The porridge that he remade every hour these days finally came of use. He braved holding the porridge that was still wafting steam and brought it over, helping Shen Qingqiu sit up properly from the bed. Eagerly attentive to a fault, he almost fed it straight to Shen Qingqiu's mouth. Goosebumps emerged on Shen Qingqiu's arms and he took the spoon himself, eating a few mouthfuls before he saw that Luo Bing'er was still standing beside the bed, and closely watching him. Shen Qingqiu thought for a moment, then suddenly realized and said lightly, "The taste isn't bad." Though he said the taste wasn't bad, Shen Qingqiu almost had a face full of tears, sort of feeling. King Jing Peak's core customs walked the path of the fresh and light. Even the cook style was along those lines, so no matter how he ate, the taste in Shen Qingqiu's mouth was so light that it was like a bird taking flight. But though the bowl in his hands was also porridge, perhaps it was a problem regarding the ingredients or technique, it was on a completely different standard compared to that bowl of light watery soup porridge. Snowy white rice porridge, lightly watery with some green onion garnish, delicious and beautiful-looking shredded meat, and just the right amount of ginger sliced into thin strips. Too, it was comparable to what Shen Yuan's own home's head chef made back in his original world. Hearing his exaggeration, Luo Bing'er's two eyes shone and he said, "If Shizun likes it, how about having this disciple make new things for you every day?" Shen Qingqiu choked on the spot. Luo Bing'er attentively patted him on the back. Shen Qingqiu waved a hand to express he was fine. He was just a little horrified. Luo Bing'er's good cooking was the #1 weapon to kill sisters. He really didn't think he would have the privilege to eat the dishes created by Luo Bing'er that only a few select, countable on one hand harem sisters could eat. Even more horrifying were his lines. This sentence, "Make new things, dishes, for you every day," wasn't it used by Luo Bing'er to make those select noble eldest misses let go of their anger and willingly enter his harem? Things can be eaten carelessly, but words cannot be said carelessly. Seeing Shen Qingqiu's strange expression, Luo Bing'er was a little uneasy and asked, "Shizun, do you not like it?" Shen Qingqiu thought for a while. "What does it have to do with me? Since he's already done so for me, I would be a fool not to take it. Speaking of that, the male protagonist being a free cook for me is something worth showing off." He immediately put on a kind and genial expression as he said, "This master really likes it. These duties will be given to your care from now on. He finally won't have to continue eating that light watery soup porridge anymore." This master was also able to open and lead a tiny cafeteria. Having received confirmation, Luo Bing'er's entire body gave out an aura like a flower blossoming during the warm spring. Shen Qingqiu saw his appearance like that and didn't know why he suddenly felt like he wanted to rub his head. After sending away, made into a coolie child in vain, open and brightly laughing Luo Bing'er, Shen Qingqiu knocked on the system. "System, I want to ask you some things." He thought for a bit. The endless abyss scene. Is it unavoidable? System, if Luo Bing'er misses the endless abyss, storyline, coolness level 10,000. Shen Qingqiu heard the last number clearly and had a habitual mouthful of blood coming up. Forget it. Vomiting is vomiting and he had already become used to it. Actually, he'd already thought about what would happen afterwards and reached a conclusion. If he wasn't able to banish Luo Bing'er into the endless abyss, then Luo Bing'er wouldn't be able to activate his golden finger. If the protagonist was left hanging, how would there be any coolness? Therefore, the path of the endless abyss scene must be walked. And the most wretched part of this book was that this mission fell on the head of the #1 Scum villain. He still didn't want to give up and asked again, though with a bit of a sad sigh. The current Luo Bing'er, who was like a little son, had to descend into becoming that shadowy and cold-blooded boss of the book. Even someone like him who had transmigrated was unable to change this fact. He was destined to strike the protagonist into the endless abyss, opening the path for him to become a legend for generations kind of man. Xiāng Tóngxiù was even more worried about his own future. If he didn't do it, his coolness level would drop by 10,000. He really couldn't die any more thoroughly. Too bad Luo Bing'er's hands after being blackened definitely wouldn't let him off. What kind of thing is this? Luo Bing'er hadn't walked off for long when Xiāng Tóngxiù's apprentice brothers approached to inspect his illness. Xiāng Tóngxiù laid on the bed, his hand holding up a book, when he was met with Yue Qingyuan entering first. He wanted to get off the bed, but Yue Qingyuan hurriedly stopped him. Qingqiu, don't move carelessly. WuxiaWorldAudio.com. Don't attempt to get down only to fall on the ground. It's better to lie down, there's no need to care about things like manners. Quote. From another direction behind him was Mu Qingfang. Martial brother Mu, come and take a look at Qingqiu again. While he was unconscious, Mu Qingfang already gave a diagnosis for Xiāng Tóngxiù. Right now would probably count as a follow-up consultation. Xiāng Tóngxiù offered his wrist to him and politely said, I will be troubling martial brother Mu. Mu Qingfang nodded and sat at the bedside, his fingers took his pulse. For Qian Cao Peak's Peak Lord's medical knowledge, all kinds of difficult miscellaneous diseases only need a short moment's inspection to make a judgment and determine a countermeasure. However, he still seriously took his pulse for a long while before he withdrew his fingers. Yue Qingyuan asked, how is it? Xiāng Tóngxiù wasn't reserved and straightforwardly asked, can this poison be cured? Lu Qingzhi shook his sleeves straight and sat down beside the table, snorting. This poison is called without a cure, what do you say? Xiāng Tóngxiù sighed. Then, martial brother Mu, simply say how many years I have left to live. How many months? Or is it how many days? Mu Qingfang shook his head and said, though it's without a cure, it can be repressed. His voice was even, neither light nor heavy, but Xiāng Tóngxiù felt that he'd gotten a turn of fortune. Though this poison was called without a cure, it was actually curable. Because in the original work, at the beginning of that Immortal Alliance conference, there was a demure and graceful little apprentice sister from another sect who had contracted this demonic poison. The key point was, she was the protagonist's girl. Have you met a stallion novel's male protagonist who let his own girl die from poison? If you have, then it must be a subpar stallion novel author's protagonist. It would be a tens of thousands of years failure of a stallion novel. The cure was very simple. Let us go back and look at the development in the original work. Because of the irresistible force of the scene, the graceful little apprentice sister contracted the poison from a demon spirit because in order to save the male protagonist, Luo Bing'er felt he had an unshakable responsibility and took up the task of finding a cure for the graceful little apprentice sister. Coincidentally, in the mountain forest at the Immortal Alliance conference, there grew a 1,000-year miracle flower. Sorry, Xiāng Tóngxiù forgot it was called what flower or what grass because in proud immortal demon way, there were at least 50-something kinds of those miracle flowers, and each one was at least thousands of years old and could be counted as a miraculous flower or shrub. The numbers were definitely over 3 digits, and who the heck could remember all those names? Great God, airplane towards the sky. You think miracle flowers are like Chinese cabbages on sale? Give these miracle plants a little dignity, all right. Luo Bing'er thought this miracle flower from the tales would definitely cure the poison in the graceful little apprentice sister's body. Not only did he struggle bitterly to pick it for her, he also wasted 3 days. These 3 days he searched for the flower while fighting monsters, and both of them came to develop feelings for each other. The graceful little apprentice sister's poison became more and more serious, her entire body weak when Luo Bing'er was finally able to pick the flower. The two people were overjoyed, and quickly the graceful little apprentice sister ate the flower raw. But it didn't work. The poison wasn't cured. The hearts of both people went cold. The girl felt that she was going to die and thought she must leave behind an unforgettable memory so her existence wouldn't be forgotten. So she took the opportunity while she was still weak to push down Luo Bing'er. Luo Bing'er made a show of resistance but thought afterward, she's doing it all for me. I can't be cold-hearted and refuse her last wish. And after a show of reluctance, he yielded and obeyed. Then, the poison, how was it cured? After doing sex, the girl's poison was naturally cured. Tired, vulgar, far-fetched. But it's very cool, right? Cool thunder, ha. It's because Luo Bing'er was of mixed demon and human blood. Also, the demon side of his bloodline was that of the demon's #1 sacred ruler's ancient heavenly demon blood. Such a tiny little demon poison was not even enough to stuff between the gaps of his teeth. During the process of the two people having sex, it had already been sucked over by Luo Bing'er and digested away. At the same time, even the nutrients of the miracle flower that the girl had eaten raw earlier were absorbed by him, giving him a big boost in cultivation. End chapter 14. 1 Changkao Peak. Mu Qingfang. Changkao Peak means thousand grasses peak. The name suggests it's the medical division of Kangqiong mountain sect even without the explanation later. Qingfang means clear fragrance. 2 Snowy white rice porridge, a lot more appetizing than it sounds. Here's what it looks like. End chapter.